Hi Libra, the Awakened Dreamer here to give you a timeless tarot reading. Thank you so much for joining me. I do want to remind you, of course, this is general, so just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. But I more than appreciate your likes, your comments, and of course your subscriptions to the channel if you haven't done so already. I did get a song, okay, before I started recording, and they were singing through me, and although I have no talent in the singing department, the song was I Was on Fire, Where Did You Go? Do you know that song? But I'm not going to sing it for you, so don't hate me for that, but I was on fire, where did you go? Okay. And I really do feel as if they're wanting us to speak upon a connection, a past one, okay? Somebody you once knew or somebody who you once cared for you, at least to a certain extent. We have a connection to talk about, okay? I'm hearing they did you dirty for some. Left in the cold is now what I'm getting. I feel like you, due to Mercury retrograde, if you're watching this close to me posting it, or even just in general in moments of downtime or certain social media reminders, or just people bringing this person up in conversation, it's going to be inevitable for one reason or another to think about them. You may even still be energetically tied to this individual to the point where when they think about you, you just happen to get that vibe, that feeling, or they just pop up in your head. For Libra, what else do we have for this connection? We have Ace of Swords. Okay, some of you wanting a new beginning with this individual, but I feel like it's the upcoming days that will give you, or for some upcoming weeks, that you'll get a little bit of clarity on why things went down the way they did, okay? Why they didn't stick around, or why you felt you couldn't stick around, okay? I feel like for some it was a situation where they didn't put as much effort into the connection towards the end, okay? Or towards at a certain point down the line, and it just made it hard for you to stick around, okay? So it was obviously one of you stepping away. It didn't feel like a mutual understanding kind of situation or agreement, but I do feel like you were pushed to move forward and just let it be, okay? Regardless of whether it was your choice, your decision or not. And I feel like they weren't the most trustworthy individual. Regardless of whether they had good intentions or not, they do miss you. That's the thing. They miss you. And it's like, for some of you, I can feel you watching this and tuning in and just a little bit in disgust, kind of thinking, yeah, when pigs fly, or just this, who cares if they miss me? But you clicked on this reading for a reason, right? You either do care to a certain extent but don't want to admit it, or it just intrigued you for one reason or another, or maybe concerned you, okay? But I do feel like you're going to need to remember that if you do not want this connection back, then it's not going to be something that transpires in your reality, okay? Your guides will protect you. I'm hearing, but for at least one of you drawn to this reading, you want it back, right? You want that connection back. But you need to ask oneself, you're going to get a push from spirit to see this connection for what it truly was, right? Some of you already a while back took off those rose-tinted glasses and saw this individual, this connection for what it truly was, and saw the unhealthy aspects of them as an individual, as a soul, and what you have between the two of you. But some of you still need to take off those rose-tinted glasses, right? And see the reality of what is no longer in your situation. I just heard we protected you. We protected you. Now, there's also going to be a reminder moving forward, or just a realization that comes to be, that spirit sees more behind the scenes, right? When you're not around, their actions, right? I'm hearing this person's in touch with their masculine side, male or female, but their actions, right? Who they spoke to, how they spoke about you when you weren't around. Bear with me as I have something on my eyelash. It is an eyelash. Anyways, I do feel as if they weren't the most trustworthy, or again, they didn't speak extremely highly of you at all times when you weren't around. Now, this is stuff that you're needing to remember or realize to either push oneself to prevent this from coming back, or just to be prepared for when they reach out, okay? I'm now hearing, I do miss you, so what are we going to do about this? Because with the Lovers, there was love to a certain extent, or just feelings expressed between the two of you, but how much does that make up for, right? Or why was it enough to overshadow or overpower the negative aspects or just the wrongdoing in one way, shape, or form, right? I can't overlook the negatives, is what I'm hearing. But the Emperor coming out because I do feel like you are very overly serious when you think about this connection. It's not sort of this giddy, I miss you kind of vibe about the way you view it or think about it, right? Even if you do miss them to a certain extent as well, I feel like you just are kind of nose to the grind is what I'm hearing. Focused on your work, focused on your craft, whatever it is for you. I do feel like you're being reminded, if you so desire, a new love or a new level of commitment with somebody who you're with these days. It's on the horizon for you, okay? Closer than you think for some, but you have a choice to make, okay? You have a choice. You're being put in this spot to either test you from the universe, a test from the universe, from your spirit guides, to see how far has Libra progressed. Have you learned, right? Have you made your way past the settling stage of your life, or do we have to implement some new lessons, right? Or new forms of the same lesson? Reiterate the same lesson. I just feel like for the majority drawn to this reading, you're very definitive in one's mind. It's a no. It's a hard no, right? And this will sort of open up they're saying the floodgates. It will open up a gate to new love for oneself, or it'll sort of allow for a new level of love to come to be with who you're already connected to, because you've always had this burden of their wrongdoing or just the connection ending in such a disruptive way in the back of your mind or just within you in one way, shape, or form. It feels like you never fully healed from this connection. Some of you maybe, but I do feel like for the most part, the majority drawn to this reading, it's the clarity that needs to come to be so you can move forth with a true level of freshness in a connection that's meant for you, okay? And I wholeheartedly feel that this person isn't right for you, okay? But they miss you, okay? And so that's why we're here today. I just feel like you're going to be pushed to take a leap of faith moving forward with what feels right, with who feels right, not with what feels recognizable, or even if that's not the case, what feels familiar, okay? Because I just feel like this was a different chapter of your life when you guys connected, okay? Or came together and then disconnected, came together and disconnected. Some of you it was off and on, hot and cold. I'm hearing their temper. Don't forget that, their temper. That's not for everybody, but you are going to be pushed to remember or to just highlight in one's mind out of preparation or just out of prevention certain bad habits. They're saying nasty habits or ways of being about this individual, okay? Because it's very easy to glorify certain experiences due to feeling a bit lonely or just just don't romanticize what was a bit rocky up and down or just unhealthy in certain ways, okay? But the Queen of Swords coming out in reverse, because I feel like you almost, for some of you, don't need to cut this out, okay? It's just not going to come to be in general. But for some of you, you need to sort of take that sword when the offer comes in or just the option comes to be and put it to rest quite quickly. Say, you know what, I've learned my lesson and I'm a better version of myself these days. I want to say partially because you've grown from the healing that needed to take place, or just some of which, or from the rejection or just the needing to step up and reject them or just put it to rest, right? Whatever took place between the two of you, because every case is different, I feel as if it did help you grow and learn about dating and even sexual matters, stuff of that nature, right? And what you're willing to settle for and not, right? So I need to be grateful for that aspect, right? The lessons that were learned, I feel the need to say, okay? Potentially for some more moving forward, but I do feel like you're a more effective dater these days because you are now able to detect or just notice the red flags quicker, okay? Or just decipher who kind of has similar energy or just would do you wrong in one way, shape, or form. Even if there were certain people after that individual, I feel like for some that did you dirty, okay, or did you wrong, didn't treat you well. But they're saying focus on your work, okay? Focus on your pinnacle. And I feel like you will attract in the new level of success for love that you need or just desire in one way, shape, or form. Your independence will attract in who's meant for you, okay? Or just a new level of connecting with that specific somebody in your situation these days. But remember, just because they miss you doesn't mean it's right for you, all right? So I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Libra.